Hello, it's Ricardo. Yes, folks, I have been absorbed by the cartoon universe. How did I get this effect? I'm using Zoom at the moment as my video conferencing tool of choice, and I'm applying a filter using Snapcam. Now, this particular filter has enabled me to change myself into a Pixar Cartoon style avatar of myself. How cool is that? And certainly a talking point for perhaps your next school class outing or even conference call, or especially with family and friends if you're running weekly family and friends quizzes. But how did I do that? Well, I'm going to walk you through installing Snapcamera, integrating it into Zoom, and going through all the steps. Now, what you want to be doing to get this software is get yourself to snapcamera.snapchat.com and you get the official Snapcamera website. This will allow you to download the particular version of Snapcam for your PC or Mac OS device. There are some system requirements that are all stated on the download screen, in particular Windows 10 64-bit or newer and Mac OS 10.13 or newer. At the moment, as this video is being done, it's not available for iOS or Android. Now, read the licensing agreement. If you're happy with it, say you've read the agreement and agree, say you're not a robot, put an email account in and download the version for you. Once you've downloaded the software of your choice for your platform of choice, it's time to guide yourself through the wizard. Typical standard Windows wizard. Select your destination. Do you want a desktop shortcut? Bang, click next, it'll install, and all you have to do is wait for it to complete and then select to run the software. Once you run the software, you'll be taken to the next screen. Now, as you can see, I'm in Snapcam after it's successfully loaded. And at the top, featured section, you can see the cartoon style filter by Snap Inc. There are several in there as well that the community have created as well. You can, raise your eyebrows, turn yourself into a cat. There's lots of other community lenses you can put on. You can say you want to work from home. You can have math equations floating around you. You can put your tie on your head. Oh my God, you can even do some sort of studying filters as well. There's loads that's being created by the community. Even, let's face it, selecting toilet paper, you can give yourself a head full of toilet paper. Anyway, we're here to talk about how to get this working in regards to your meeting software of choice and getting Snapcam set up properly. So let's get cracking. So first off, if you don't see this, you have to go into the settings section of Snapcam, which is the little cog wheel up in the top right hand corner. Click on that and you'll see your Snapcam settings. Now, to choose your camera, I've got several cameras and I've got some XSplit. Pick your camera of choice, so I'll be using my main camera, which is a HD Pro webcam, C920, it's a 1080 webcam, which is great. I'll use that, get some good clarity. Choose your camera resolution, and usually given a few resolutions there as well. I'll go for the 1920 by 1080 frames per second webcam. So we'll click on that and set your microphone and all the rest of it as well. And you're good to go. Click on back and that's basically what you're going to see. And when you start selecting all your different filters, like that's me as anime, for example, which I think is quite good actually. I quite like this. In fact, I'm torn between this one and with that one, to be perfectly honest. But we're talking about this one, so we're going to stay with this one, right? So what you see here in Snapcam, right, is great. Now what we need to do is get Snapcam, this feed we're getting here, which is taking the image from your webcam, putting it through a filter in Snapcam into your conferencing software of choice, whether that be Zoom, whether that be Teams, Google Meet, or even sticking it into OBS or Streamlabs OBS. So once you can see this on the screen, you know your configuration in Snapcam is working. Now it's on to the bit of software, your conferencing software or streaming software, to do the configuration there. So let's go and take a look. So here I am in Zoom, that popular conferencing application that has saved many a person's bacon since the original start of the pandemic. I'm not displaying any video at the moment. If I go down to the bottom left hand side, you can see I've got my microphone and you see I've got my start video at the bottom as well. Let's click on that. You can see my webcam feeds. I've got the webcam. I've got Snapcamera. Now that's the virtual webcam that sits in between the camera feed and Zoom. I've got my other aspects as well. I've got something for Streamlabs. I've got my Logitech capture as well. So I want to focus on what I'm doing in regards to Snapcam. No dramas. Right, so I'm going to go and select Snapcamera here. And I'm going to start my video. And there you go. So what's happening here is that the feed is going into my camera. It's going into Snapcamera. The filter is being applied. And that filter output is being sent then to Zoom, because our camera of choice is the Snapcamera virtual filter. So when you go down to Zoom, you can click on that, and then whatever you've set in Snapcam, you get in Zoom. Incidentally, you can have Snapcamera running at the same time in a screen. And if you're a bit fed up of that particular one, then you can go and put in another filter. Viking, for example. And then automatically it changes to somebody with a Viking hat on. Get a nice Viking beard. It's quite good. And it tracks quite well. I got a lot of light coming in this way. The room is very white. So if you've got a green screen, you're also going to get better effects. Now also in Zoom, you would have noticed that clicking on the video selection at the bottom of the screen, you can choose a virtual background. Okay, you can blur your background, which might make it a little bit easier. You can set a picture, bit of grass, etc., etc. Now, if you want to put additional filters on top of that, like a pair of sunglasses from what you're doing within Zoom, then you can do as well. Put a bit of fairy lights up. Do what you've got to do. This is going to be quite resource intensive on your machine, however, as well. So be wary. If you're using a lower spec machine that just sort of scrapes in through the specification of Snapcamera, be very aware that you need, a decent webcam. You're going to need at least the minimum spec of Snapcam that's been listed on their website, or you're going to run into trouble as well. And try not to do anything else too extensive on the PC while this is going on. Perfectly good for streaming as well, though. Will depend on the game you've also got running. If you're using things like Streamlabs OBS as well, that's obviously going to have an impact on what you can do for streaming. So there you go. I've been Ricardo, as I'm sure you can see, and I've been using the Snapcam filters to turn myself into a Pixar Cartoon style avatar. Now, don't get in trouble at work, but it's certainly good for a laugh to use with family and friends. Thanks very much for watching, and check back for more videos in the series on how you can apply this effect to other tools as well. See you soon.